collectors and action figure fans, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys TMS03, which I believe just stands for Television Masterpiece Series, of Daredevil, from the Netflix Marvel Daredevil series. For the package, you got a really cool image of Daredevil there in a very red sort of look, much like the intro for the Daredevil series, which I really do dig. I think that looks terrific. You got the nice Marvel Daredevil, slightly glossy logo right down there. One thing that I absolutely love that Hot Toys did was right here, right above where it says the TMS 03 1/6 scale figure, it actually has Braille put on there. As we know, Daredevil is blind. And using some wonderful technology, such as computers, I was able to put this in and discover that this really does say Daredevil across it, which is amazing. And it's raised up, so if you could read Braille, you would be able to read that says Daredevil. Fantastic. You got the little Hot Toy logo. You can see that the image carries over to the side here. And then when you come around to the, you also have Braille right on the side of the package right there as well. And then when you come to the back, you got the various warnings and contact information. And then it does have a slip sleeve cover. When you lift it up, you get another really cool image here. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like, almost like a paintbrush kind of stroke, and then you see at the bottom like a cityscape. It's really cool. But the back here has the cast and crew responsible for making the figure, and then you carry over to the side and it says Daredevil and everything, and then on the front you got the open window that fully showcases the figure as well as all of his accessories. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Daredevil opened up and out of its packaging. And starting out first with his accessories, he really doesn't come with a lot. What I'd say that he comes with, though, is obviously very suited to the character, and I'm not really sure what else you could have included. First, in addition to the two fisted hands that are currently on him, he also gets a pair of right and left hands that are designed to hold his little staff weapons, I guess. Great detail on these, coming in to take a slightly closer look. You can see really nice padding on there and a good level of detail that shows that these gloves are very, I guess, helpful to the character. I mean, he fights hand to hand very often. So when you look at the knuckles, you can see that they're a little bit raised and armored, giving a little bit more oomph when he's punching someone. I've said it many times that a lot of times when we're looking at these Hot Toy figures, we don't necessarily see all this detail on the on-screen counterpart. But Hot Toys has done a great job of recreating it. I love it. You can see the textural details here on the palm. Obviously, you got that two-tone color with the red and black, but nice and padded, really great looking gloves on there. And then you do get a pair of right and left hands that are more open in gesturing. Again, you can see all those textural details in there as well. All that same padding and everything. You get a nice appreciation for the raise for the knuckles, and I'm dropping them. But obviously you can do some kind of poses with this, like I said, in a gesturing kind of fashion. You also do get basically three versions of his staff. You have one here, and all of them look really very nice. You can see a nice, very dark, almost wood color. He wants to focus here in the back. So see a very nice grained sort of texture. Let me come in. I want to kind of capture that as best as I possibly can. You can see all that textural detail. It's not grain. I mean, this is not made out of wood or meant to replicate wood, but you can see those little tiny textural details. Some nice silver paint at the edge. You got the little connecting points right there. And then again, you got that nice kind of texture on the opposite side. Now this, obviously being his primary weapon, could separate, so that's where this second piece comes in, which allows him to basically have two weapons, one in each hand that he can swap and beat people with, but you can kind of see where they would sort of pretend to connect, and you can kind of line them up here basically and see how they kind of separate. Like this piece would latch in like that, and then it would detach, and again, you could have it beat people. Now, where I don't understand that, and then you get another one here, and this is going to be a little bit harder to see, but you get one with a wire. It's a metal wire. Really nice detail on that as well. I don't know necessarily where the wire from like this goes when it separates and then magically appears on this one. But you can use this and whip it around as he did several times, kind of like nunchucks, but much longer. I do like this. I think it's a nice addition, but like I said, I don't get where the wire goes when they separate. Shouldn't the wire be there still? I don't know how that works, but hey, movie magic. Personally, I like this one because I like having a weapon in both of his hands, showing the battle that he's going through. So all of those are really very nice. I do appreciate them. Obviously, you need to have those. And then for weapon storage, he does have a little holster here on the side where you would take this and you would slide this down all the way. It does get a little bit tight getting that in there, and I'll fiddle with that here in a bit, but you put that down there as well, so you can have it storing like that. And again, I don't know necessarily where the little wire thing goes when you do it like that. Maybe I put that in there a little bit too tight, but you do have some, I guess, weapon storage. You'd have the two. I mean, you can't really, I guess you could if you really wanted to put one in there, but you don't really need to do that. So that's that for his weapons. He also does come with a really cool display piece. I'll touch on this here in a bit. I love the way that this looks. It's very simple, but what I like is you have a very glossy section right here mixed in with a very matte section, which Matt, get it? Matt Murdock. Ha ha! I got jokes all day long. I got jokes. I'm here. But you can see the glossiness of it gives it a very wet look. I like that a lot. It's very simple, but looks really cool. You can see it says Daredevil across there. Now, one thing I have seen people complain about, more so on the Punisher than Daredevil, but that's the logo for the show. It says Daredevil. A lot of times we get the logo for the movie, and then underneath it would be their name. In this case, you don't really need that because he is Daredevil, but that does come into play with the Punisher, which we'll take a look at here in the next couple days. But I love it. You got the adjustable cradle right here. Now this part gets a little bit weird. I think could be viewed as a little bit lazy, I'll be honest. You do get this really gorgeous kind of diorama stand here. You have like a wall, you have some pipes right here. Kind of looks like it's on the roof, maybe. You got some like broken bits right here. I mean, gorgeous detail on here. And then this is meant to be in the back, but as you can see, well, you can't see because I don't have it up there. All right, so moving this down, so now you can see, and getting our buddy Matt kind of off on the side, you can see that it sits lower than the base. So they give you this piece, which is just a plastic section that you just put there. It doesn't attach, it doesn't latch on to anything. You just kind of bump it up against the back, and then you take this and you put that there. Now, that does look nice, but why couldn't you have made the display all one piece? It seems kind of lazy, to be totally honest. And they dropped the ball, if you ask me. I like that they included this. I mean, that is a really cool looking display. And then when you put him with it, it looks good. I'm quite the fan of how that looks. But make it all one piece. And one final accessory, Hot Toys has been doing this a lot lately, but they're giving us these really cool backdrops that it doesn't work too well on my table because it's rounded, so it ends up leaning a little bit. But you have this really nice backdrop right here, but what's, again, kind of strange, you got like this whole rooftop scene, or maybe just like a sidewalk kind of scene, and on top of that, you're putting it in front of a street, which I don't know if that really fits with this. I like the fact they're doing it. Some people have complained, as you can see, this does kind of warp and bend, so you do kind of have to flex that. I do like that they include it. It's a nice bonus kind of thing, but I don't think necessarily that it fits with the base that you're using, because why would there be this in the middle of a street? I mean, you can see, cars. You can see like the center line right here. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I think the background image could have been done a little bit better. And then obviously it says Marvel Daredevil up there, but it does create a nice additional kind of display thing to have that kind of right there. And You just do something like that. I mean, it's cool, right? I mean, it does look good, and it's a nice added kind of display feature for it, but I just think that there's a strangeness to the base and the back. Both look great. I don't think they work great. I don't think they look great together, though. Now, for the last accessory, I do want to make sure that I touch on this. The instructions are very simple, but it really does go through on how to use the last accessory very nicely. As you can see, he comes with an interchangeable lower face. And while it's very easy, again, you do want to make sure that you follow those instructions. So first, what you want to do is take the helmet section and kind of wiggle just a little. It helps kind of separate things. And then you pull that straight up and off just like that. Then you take the face and that just removes. Looking at the face scope, you can see really gorgeous detail on there. You got the little stubble and everything. Definitely look, I don't remember his name, but definitely looks like the actor. And then you bring in the replacement and you can see this is a much more angry and aggressive and, well, bloodied version of the original. The one on the right here, you can see just fairly standard and neutral, but this one has a lot of expression and looks absolutely terrific. I mean, I think they did a great job of really recreating the blood look on there. You can see a little bit of a shine to it, which is nice. Did a really great job with like the nose bleeding and everything. And then all you do, again, you just kind of fit that right on the little nub there. Then you bring the helmet back on, and again, just line that up, slowly push that down, just like so. And it's staying in so we can take a look at the rest of the detail. Again, really nice sculpt on there. I love the way that the helmet looks. It obviously is designed to look how it looks towards the end of Season 2. It went through a change in the beginning. The biggest noticeable feature would be the fact that the front section here is now red, whereas in the beginning of Season 2, it was black, much like it was at the end of Season 1. So this is a more full Season 2 look for his costume, but you can see gorgeous detail. I love the fact that also what they did was they sculpted in the black section here that kind of comes down to be like his undershirt. So I love that that's all one piece. It doesn't break up the sculpt. You can see it's still nicely articulated, but absolutely gorgeous in terms of that look. I think that the likeness is really spectacular. Without question, in my mind, looks like the actor. And then you look at the suit, and again, real great detail. A lot more kind of reinforcement throughout it. As like I said, it went through a slight change. One thing that I will say, and people have talked about this, and I will agree, is that I feel like Hot Toys didn't do enough to bulk up his body. Like, you look at his arms, and those look really scrawny, if you ask me. He's a scrawny guy, but there is muscle to him, and I don't really see that here. So I feel like they could have bulked him up a little bit more. The suit looks terrific. I just think it's the body underneath that is a little lacking, but you can see all those little additional armor bits right here. Great detail on the sleeves. You can see some nice texture in everything on the actual suit. Come down to look at the legs. Again, that same kind of motif goes down. You got the little section right down here. What I really love is what they did here with the boots. You can see that it's all designed to look like just one piece and coming in, but you can see that it's actually done in two separate sections so that you can fully articulate the ankle without sacrificing anything in terms of the look. Now, in some angles, I mean, obviously that, gets a little bit weird on the side, but for the most part, I think it looks really great. I like the dirt that they put in there, good texture here on the bottom with some dirt as well. I mean, every aspect and angle of this figure has been nicely recreated from a suit perspective. So while I think it does look good, I am going to agree with a lot of the critics out there that the body should have been bulked up a little. It's not terrible, and I'm not even talking a lot of bulking, but it does need some oomph to it. And like I said, you have the little section right here where you can take these bits, and I guess it's supposed to go like this, and then you push that kind of through like that. You take the smaller one, and this goes in the front. And again, I have no idea where the little wire goes when you do that, but there it is. But the overall look is really very nice. I think they capture it beautifully. I love how the eyes, I should have shown this. I love that the eyes have that slight translucent red look to it, which is phenomenal. I love that. That's really cool. One of my just minor criticisms of the suit from a design standpoint, not anything Hot Toys has done, this is just me giving commentary on the suit. I wish they did have the little double D logo right there. That would be nice. Maybe, I mean, obviously we're going to get more seasons of Daredevil, but I would have liked to have seen that. I think that would have looked cool. But the design and look of the suit is pretty good, and Hot Toys really did nail it, I think. It is a very nice representation, as I said, of how the Season 2 suit predominantly looked. Now for his articulation, fairly standard amongst Hot Toy figures. You do get a little bit of restriction with the suit, but it's really not that bad. As I said, the next section here, because it's all sculpted to look as if he's got that kind of inner outfit, is all articulated down at the lower section, but you get a nice range of motion. As you can see, it looks very far down. It looks back about that far. You can get it obviously going side to side about yay far, and obviously he does rotate very nicely. That the shoulders do get, like I said, a little bit restricted because of the suit, but you can sort of mitigate it. You can rotate some things around and kind of twist and get it to about there, I would say, comfortably. So you're going to be able to get some decent, punching poses. He does have 2 joints here at the elbow, but again, it is a little bit restrictive. I would probably say be a little bit careful when you're doing it. The suit is a little stretchy, but obviously you don't want to overdo it to damage the suit anyway. He does rotate at the upper part of the bicep. I forgot to mention that. You come down to the wrists, they do rotate, and then they do have that hinge forward and back. Come down to the torso area. I would imagine that he's got a crunch. You can feel a little bit of a padding in there. Just probably needs to be a little bit more padding. But that ab crunch is probably there, and then you do get a waist swivel. The jacket here is a separate piece, it feels, but in terms of the rotation, it does feel like it's connected, or the pants are connected to something up in the torso area. It doesn't rotate freely, and I feel some tension as I'm doing it, but you do get a little bit of rotation there. The legs, unfortunately, do get a little bit more restrictive, especially here in the crotch area. The leg can only go about that far before it you can stretch it, and again, you don't want to overdo it, and I'm forcing it, but that's just to show you what it can do. But that's about the comfortable range of motion with it. It goes back a little bit. It does move in and out, so you can do the side kick. He does obviously rotate at the upper part of the thigh, but again, you do get that restriction in the suit, but again, you can rotate it and then kind of twist the suit around there, so you can kind of pull it off. He does have 2 joints here at the knee, and then coming down to the ankle, as I said, this piece right here, you can kind of separate it and lift that up a little bit, and you can see where that break happens, but keeping that down, you do get a nice full range of motion. Obviously, you get the tilt side to side, moves forward and back, rotates all the way around. So all the articulation that you would basically want in a figure is there, and kind of then some. Like I said, with these ankles, I really like what they did with the boot here. They've been doing that with a couple other figures, and I'll point some of those figures out when I get to them, but in general, very well articulated, and you're going to be able to get them in a majority of the poses that you want. Probably not as dynamic and ninja-like like some people may want to do, but it's still overall pretty decent. Overall, a really impressive figure. I know for me personally, I was kind of surprised when Hot Toys announced that they were going to be doing the various Netflix Marvel series. It wasn't at all that I thought that the series, specifically Daredevil, was bad. I just never thought that they would actually do it. But I'm absolutely glad and thrilled that they did. For me, Daredevil is the best of the series that have come out so far. Jessica Jones was, okay. I wouldn't mind having a figure from her. I was never really a big fan of Luke Cage. Iron Fist, I didn't even bother watching, mostly because I was turned off to Luke Cage. But I enjoyed Defenders, and I'm really looking forward to the Punisher series. For me, Punisher and Daredevil really are much more impressive characters to me personally, so that's probably why I don't care too much about Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and to a lesser extent, Jessica Jones. But for Daredevil here, I really do like the series. And as I said, I was very happy when Hot Toys announced that they were doing this. Shocked, but very happy. For the figure, while he doesn't come with a lot, I do like the ability to swap out his face. That is a really nice addition. Obviously, he doesn't come with a lot of accessories, but again, I don't really know what else you could have included. As I said, this is predominantly the outfit and suit that he wore through the majority of Season 2. The beginning did have a slightly different look. And when we take a look at the Punisher figure, he does come with an accessory that kind of goes along with Daredevil, despite the fact that Daredevil can't use that accessory. But it is nice that there's another one that's thrown in there. Could that accessory have come with him? Yeah, but I don't know, it didn't bother me because I knew I was going to get both figures, so I knew I would ultimately get that. And what that is an early version of how Daredevil's helmet looks, or mask I should say, when Punisher busted him open, which then resulted in Daredevil having to get a new mask and ultimately a new suit. But again, we'll take a look at all that when we take a look at Punisher. His other accessories, obviously his little batons work nicely. I still don't understand the string, but whatever. I do like the base, but I don't like how it was really implemented. I wish it was one piece. Just standing there, it looks fine, but I don't know why they couldn't have made it one piece. And then the backdrop, while I like having it, ultimately I don't really use those in my display because I have the Toy Hacks backgrounds, mostly because they take up more of the detail. These are much more slender, so it doesn't work as well. But I also don't understand how you have like a rooftop kind of thing or even a sidewalk kind of thing in the middle of a street. That just doesn't work. Or like I said, they just don't work together well. But the figure really is great. And if you're a fan of the series, this is definitely one that I would pick up. While he's not an Avenger or anything like that, he is a really kind of iconic character for Marvel. And I feel that the Netflix series is doing him justice, and I feel that Hot Toys has done the figure justice as well. So all that being said, if this is a guy that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Hot Toys 1/6 scale figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Before I go, don't forget that if you like this video, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would absolutely appreciate it. Also, hey, if you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know, as I've said time and time again, just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is. So the best way to make sure that you're getting my videos is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And if you don't, I will find where you live and I will put Mjolnir on your little tiny toilet. And as always, guys, be excellent to each other.